On the day of my grand wedding, I was rendered unconscious by my half-sister, who had just returned home. Clad in my bridal gown, she ascended the flower sedan chair to marry into the Marquis' household. Upon regaining consciousness, I created a tumult in the wedding hall, leaving my half-sister in a state of shame and fury, ultimately leading to her confinement by the clan leader. In the Buddhist hall, after the marriage, the Marquis, Yuanzhou, lavished me with affection until the day of my delivery, when the child was too large, resulting in a difficult birth. He ordered the midwife to perform a cesarean section, extracting the child from my womb. As I lay there, barely clinging to life, I beheld him entering with my half-sister in his embrace. If it weren't for Ruyen's inability to bear children, I would never have allowed you to live to this day. My sister, cradling the child, laughed lightly. Your humiliation of me that day, let today serve as your atonement for bringing forth this child. Rest assured, this child shall be mine. With the baby's cries echoing around me, I inhaled my last breath. When I next opened my eyes, it was the very day of my wedding, the joyous sounds ringing in the air. The bride ascends the flower sedan chair. One mother, how did I end up here? I propped my head, feeling dazed as I appeared before the gathered guests. Silence enveloped the room. Then, a sudden exclamation pierced the stillness. Why is Ruyen still here? Who is the one in the flower sedan chair? I expressed my astonishment. In the flower sedan chair? Has the auspicious hour arrived? My sister brought me a bowl of sweet soup, and after drinking it, I fell asleep until now. Aunt Zhao, lurking at the back of the crowd, caught sight of me, and her eyes flickered as she attempted to hide. My personal maid blocked her path. Aunt Zhao, was it not you and the eldest miss who delivered the sweet soup to the second Mrs. Chamber? Aunt Zhao stammered. What's sweet soup? I don't know what you're talking about. My mother spoke sternly. Where is Ruyen? Someone, go to the eldest Miss's room and check for her. I subtly covered the corner of my mouth. Where else could she be but in the flower sedan chair? A maid, drenched in cold sweat, rushed in. Madam, the eldest miss is not at her room, and the attendants are also missing. My maid, Zhuer, burst in weeping. Madam, our Miss's wedding gown is also gone. One of the ladies hesitated. Could it be that the one who just ascended the flower sedan chair was the eldest miss? This revelation startled everyone, igniting a cacophony of voices. No way. The eldest miss had just been sent back home. How shameless. She must have used underhanded tactics to substitute for the legitimate daughter. What a misfortune for our family. My father's face darkened. Someone quickly stopped the flower sedan chair. It was too late calculating the time. The wedding procession had already entered the gates of the Marquis of Jinnan's residence, and I feared they were about to commence the wedding rites. What I desired was for Yuanzhou and Wan Ruyen to consummate their union. Tears streaming down my face, I shook my head, kneeling before my father. Father, let it be. My half-sister has admired the Marquis since the first moment she saw him. Her ploy to take my place must be out of desperation. I am willing to relinquish my marriage to her. She has already been divorced once for her inability to bear children. If another scandal arises, what will become of her? The reason for my half-sister's divorce remained a secret within the household. Revealing it in front of everyone would expose Ruyen as the reason for her abandonment. Even if she married into the Marquis' household, it would be difficult for her to secure her position as a wife. Would the old Marquis' wife truly accept a daughter-in-law who could not bear children? My mother wiped her tears. You foolish child. This marriage is yours once you wed. You will be the Lady of Jinnan. You are so selflessly willing to cede your marriage to your half-sister, yet she plots against you. This cannot stand. My daughter shall not suffer such injustice. Even if she marries in, I will not allow her to have an easy time. My father glowered, turning to Aunt Zhao. Wretched woman, I find it hard to believe that Ruyen could accomplish this alone without your assistance. Aunt Zhao feigned fragility, gazing at my father with tearful eyes, attempting to elicit his sympathy. Marquis, Ruyen is also your daughter. She and the Marquis are truly in love. Please grant her this chance. She has already suffered greatly from being sent back. Why must you press her further? I beseech you. Allow the second Mrs. marriage to be granted to her. And look at the time. They must have already exchanged vows. By now it is too late. My mother rushed forward, delivering a sharp slap. Such a scheme, and it has fallen upon my daughter. Someone, drag Aunt Zhao away, give her 20 lashes, and lock her in the woodshed. Aunt Zhao froze, her scream piercing the air. Who dares strike me? I am the mother-in-law of the Marquis of Jin. My father slammed the table. Silence. You and your daughter have conspired against her. Do not forget, Ruyen is also my daughter, the legitimate daughter of the Marquis' household. How dare you plot against her? Someone, gag her and take her away. Aunt Zhao was promptly silenced and dragged into the woodshed. That moment, a guard entered, presenting a jade pendant. Your Grace, this was found in the eldest Mrs. Courtyard. Upon seeing it, my father sneered. What a fine Marquis of Jinnan. I wondered how Rian could impersonate the bride. It turns out he was aiding her. Since it is so, do not blame me for tearing our relationship asunder. I secretly smirked, having instructed a maid to toss the jade pendant that the Marquis had sent previously into Rian's courtyard, ensuring that my father would conclude that my half-sister and the Marquis had long been involved in a clandestine affair, colluding to replace me. 2. My father gazed at me. Ruin, what are your thoughts now? If you wish to marry, I shall promptly take someone to bring you back from the Marquis' residence. I shook my head. Father, it appears that my half-sister and the Marquis have already developed feelings for one another in private and have orchestrated such a grand scheme to harm me, your daughter. Such a person is unworthy of my hand. My father nodded. Well said, my daughter. Let us proceed to the Marquis' residence and annul the marriage. Upon our arrival at the Marquis of Jinnan's residence, the newlyweds had just completed their vows and were about to be ushered into the bridal chamber.
Halt!
My father interrupted the officiant's words. Everyone turned in astonishment at the sight of my parents and me. What is Miss Juan doing here? Who is that being wed? What is happening? Why have both of the bride's parents come? Yuano looked at me, his voice filled with shock. Ruin, have you awakened so soon? His words inadvertently revealed their scheme to drug me. I let out a cold laugh. Marquis, you and my half-sister conspired to drug me so she could take my place in marriage. I suppose you did not anticipate my swift recovery, which has interrupted your plans. My proclamation sent shockwaves through the room. The old Marchioness rose. Dear lady, what is the meaning of this? The bride, still covered by her veil, heard the commotion and lifted it, her face turning ashen. Sister, the old Marchioness exclaimed. Why is the bride you? I stepped forward. Sister, although your actions of taking my place in marriage bring disgrace to our Duke's household, as your sister, I still wish to extend my congratulations. I turned to the old Marchioness. Madam, the Marquis and my sister are in love, yet they dared not inform their parents. Thus, they devised this scheme to have me drugged on the day of the wedding, allowing my half-sister to don my wedding attire and enter the Marquis' residence. Had I not experienced this myself, I would scarcely believe that the esteemed Marquis of Jinnan could stoop to such depths. Ru Sheng, pale and trembling, staggered back into He Yuanzhou's embrace, who looked at her with concern before turning to me. Ruin, I owe you an apology. However, my heart belongs solely to Ru Sheng. I desire to marry her alone. We have already exchanged vows and are now husband and wife. I shall not let her go. If you are willing, I can take you as a beloved concubine. Aside from not granting you the status of the main wife, all else would remain the same. Would it not be better for you sisters to live together? With tears in her eyes, Ru Sheng knelt before me. Sister, I did not intend to take your husband from you. I simply love him dearly. I beg you, allow me to serve him. I will honor you as my superior.
Will you not?
I stepped back, regarding the two of them with cold disdain, mocking, truly, a pair of lovers whose affection is stronger than gold. If the Marquis truly cherishes my half-sister, why not inform the elders and marry her openly instead of resorting to such underhanded tactics? Surely my half-sister, as the daughter of the Duke, is not so unworthy of acknowledgement. He Yuanzhou stammered. I feared you would not consent. If you agree now, we can all be one family. I took the marriage certificate handed to me by a maid. Marquis, I refuse. Since you have wed my sister, our engagement is hereby nullified. I wish you and Ru Sheng eternal unity, free from regret. With that, I tore the marriage certificate into shreds and cast it to the floor. My mother looked at the old Marchioness, a knowing smile gracing her lips. The Marquis is indeed quite sentimental. Ru Sheng, unable to bear children, has been cast aside. Yet the Marquis does not shun her and has taken her as his principal wife. It is truly moving. The old Marchioness's expression darkened. Unable to bear children? Ru Sheng's face went ashen, realizing her secret had been publicly revealed, an announcement that she would forever be childless. I gasped, covering my mouth. Sister, have you not yet informed the Marquis and the old Marchioness? In my previous life, I was unaware of when He Yuanzhou discovered Ru Sheng's inability to bear children. However, from the moment he sought to impregnate me, he harbored intentions of murdering a mother to seize her child. In my past existence, until my dying breath, The old Marchioness remained unaware of Ru Sheng's condition. She had always been in seclusion, recovering from illness. After my death, when Ru Sheng and He Yuanzhou returned with my child, they presented him as Ru Sheng's. The old Marchioness, overjoyed, consented to Ru Sheng's marriage into the family as the rightful wife of the Marquis of Zhennan. Now, I wish to see if, without the old Marchioness's approval, she could still claim that position. My father regarded Ru Sheng with a firm voice. You have first harmed your sister, then usurped her marriage. Showing no regard for sisterly affection and casting aside the dignity of the Duke's household. Such an unfilial daughter, the Yuan family shall no longer recognize you as our daughter. If you return home with me now and kneel before the ancestral hall to plead for forgiveness, perhaps there is still a chance for you. Should you persist in your folly, you shall no longer be a daughter of the Yuan family. 3. Ru Sheng, with red-rimmed eyes, spoke softly. Father, I am also your daughter. Can you truly bear to see your daughter fall into such a predicament? Is there any wrongdoing in wanting to be with the one I love? What is wrong with striving for the life I desire? My father nodded. Very well. From this day forth, you shall no longer be a daughter of the Yuan family. Take care of yourself. He then turned to the guards behind him. Come. Take all of the second young lady's dowry back. Ru Sheng screamed, Father, this is my dowry. My mother struck her across the face. Your dowry? When you were married, I prepared 100 carts of dowry for you, a grand display indeed. Yet, you ungrateful wretch, dare to snatch Ru Yin's marriage. This 120 carts of dowry now belong to Ru Yin. You seek to usurp her marriage and her dowry. Do not harbor such delusions. The guests were already dumbstruck. Substituting a bride? This illegitimate daughter is truly audacious. If it were my daughter, she would have been dragged out and dealt with swiftly. It seems the Marquis of Zhennan has long had an affair with Ru Sheng, which led to this outrageous act of drugging the legitimate daughter. Bah! Such shamelessness in seeking illicit relations. Who would dare associate with the Marquis of Zhennan's household? One misstep and one might find oneself ensnared. Ru Sheng clung to the dowry box, wailing that no one should move it. If you are to take it away, return my dowry first. I chuckled. Sister, did you not hear what father said? You are no longer a daughter of the Yuan family, and everything belonging to the Yuan family is now irrelevant to you. Dowry? Perhaps you should inquire with your birth mother. Oh, how could I forget? Your birth mother, concubine Zhao, hails from a brothel. She might still possess a few coins from selling herself, which could perhaps add a few boxes to your dowry. The guards of the Wei Duke's residence carried away the 120 carts of dowry in grand procession from the Marquis of Zhennan's residence. The guests who had come to the wedding feast were entertained by the spectacle, and before dawn, news of the Marquis marrying a substitute bride spread throughout the capital. The Marquis's household quickly became the subject of ridicule across the city. It was said that on the following day, when the new couple paid their respects, a significant uproar ensued. According to custom, the newlyweds were to present gifts to their elders on the second day after entering the home. My dowry contained items I had personally embroidered for each elder in He Yuanzhou's family, such as headbands, shoes, and socks. Ru Sheng, believing my dowry was complete, felt no urgency. However, the dowry had already been taken away, leaving her with nothing but the wedding gown. Upon waking the next day, she had no change of clothing. He Yuanzhou, having no other choice, dispatched a steward to purchase ready-made garments as well as shoes, socks, and handkerchiefs for Ru Sheng in haste. The elders of the He family, witnessing the tardiness of the couple, wore displeased expressions. The items they received were merely from the local shops, further heightening their dissatisfaction. Did the new bride look down upon the He family? Was it customary to buy handkerchiefs from external vendors as a formal greeting? How embarrassing! What was she wearing? The stitching was so coarse. Had the Wei Duke's daughter always been so destitute? It was not widely known. She had long ceased to be the Duke's daughter. Yesterday, in front of everyone, the Duke had expelled her from the family. This morning, the Yuan family had opened the ancestral hall and officially removed Yuan Ru Sheng from the clan. With tears in her eyes, Yuan Ru Sheng awkwardly paid her respects. The old Marchioness, her face clouded with displeasure, inquired, I have heard that you are unable to bear children. Is this true? He Yuanzhou defended himself, saying, Mother, I sought the imperial physician to examine Ru Sheng. She will surely be fine. Initially, when she married into Qingzhou, it was merely an adjustment issue. hence her inability to conceive. The old matriarch maintained a stern demeanor, responding, Wanru Sheng, you are a remarried woman. After much contemplation last night, I have decided to allow you to enter the household. However, Yuan Zhou is the heir of the and Arhe family cannot accept a divorced woman as the. Coincidentally, Yuan Zhou's cousin Yu Ru is still unmarried. Today, in front of everyone, I shall make it clear that I have set my sights on her to become the wife of the Zhen Nan Marquis. He Yuan Zhou exclaimed in distress, Mother. We were wed yesterday. The entire capital witnessed it. The old matriarch slammed the table, exclaiming, The scandal of your substitute marriage has already disgraced our He family. And you still dare to speak? Without a proper name, how can it be counted? If you wish to marry her, it must be as a concubine. The Zhen Nan Marquis estate cannot accept a woman who has been cast aside as the primary wife. If you insist on marrying Wanru Sheng, then the position of the Zhen Nan Marquis will be given to another. The Zhen Nan Marquis' household encompasses hundreds of souls. This title affects our entire He clan, and it is not for you to decide alone. You must choose between the title of Marquis and Wanru Sheng. He Yuan Zhou, under Ru Sheng's pleading gaze, turned his face away, kneeling and declaring, I am willing to take my cousin as my wife. Wanru Sheng cried out, He Lang, you promised that in this lifetime, having me alone would suffice, that you would grant me the honor of being the. How can you now say you wish to marry your cousin as your primary wife? How can you justify this to me? Alas, no matter how much she cried and lamented, it could not alter the old matriarch's decision. She had already conferred with her family and would soon select an auspicious date for a second wedding feast, allowing He Yuan Zhou to wed his cousin Song Yuru. When I heard the news, I nearly laughed aloud. In this lifetime, a new character, Song Yuru, had emerged. She was a well-known figure in the. Having grown up as He Yuan Zhou's childhood companion and was favored by the old matriarch, enjoying a status even more esteemed than that of the biological daughters of the. This would certainly stir up quite a commotion. 3 days after the wedding, Wanru Sheng actually returned to the Duke's residence with He Yuan Zhou. The doorman, upon seeing them approach, promptly closed the door, stating, The Duke has declared that there is only one young lady in the residence, still awaiting marriage. There is no daughter, who is already wed. Wanru Sheng's face flushed with anger. Aunt Zhao is my mother. Do you dare to stop me? The doorman scoffed. An aunt is not a legitimate mistress. She is a servant. Servants' relatives are not allowed to enter through the main door. Are you out of your mind? According to the rules, an aunt's relatives can only use the side door. He gestured dismissively. Wanru Sheng screamed, As soon as father calms down, the first thing I will do is peel your skin off. The doorman regarded her with disdain. The Duke disowned the young lady a few days ago. Now you are merely a concubine of the. Cease your loud outbursts before me. With no other recourse, Wanru Sheng had to lead He Yuan Zhou through the side door. He Yuan Zhou, observing the throng of onlookers outside, darkened his expression. Why must I enter through the side door? I never wish to accompany you back. This is truly humiliating. With that, he flung his hand and walked away. Wanru Sheng, torn between wanting to visit her aunt and holding on to He Yuan Zhou, ultimately gritted her teeth and followed him home. Aunt Zhao awaited the return of her son-in-law, the Zhen Nan Marquis, for 3 days to bolster her position, but he never arrived. When she saw me, though haggard, she remained self-satisfied. Second miss, your sister has married well. If you curry favor with me, when she returns, I shall surely speak well of you. Perhaps I can even get you a position as a concubine in the Zhen Nan Marquis' household. I covered my mouth and laughed. What? Aunt, are you still unaware? Just now, your daughter returned, only to be blocked at the door by the doorman and made to use the side entrance. Your esteemed son-in-law became enraged and turned to leave. Your daughter didn't even think of you, rushing after her husband instead. Moreover, she herself is merely a concubine. How can she possibly bring me in as a concubine? Where does she find such audacity? Aunt Zhao's eyes widened. What nonsense are you spouting? Ru Sheng is the Zhen Nan. I laughed heartily. You are still in the dark? The Zhen Nan has already declared that in a few days, she will marry her own cousin into the household, the daughter of the Chief Justice, Song Yuru. Ru Sheng is now nothing more than the daughter of a concubine. How unfortunate. I turned to leave, ignoring her frantic protests behind me. On the day He Yuan Zhou wed Song Yuru, I purposely leaked the news to Aunt Zhao. watching as she stealthily slipped out through the side door. The Zhennan claimed that the previous days were merely a formality for taking a concubine, and this time they were truly marrying a new wife. Though everyone saw through the pretense, the appropriate facade was maintained, and many came to offer their congratulations. Song Yu-ru, veiled in red, bashfully followed He Yuan-zhou to the altar. The officiant announced, "The ceremony is complete. Now, usher her into the bridal chamber." Suddenly, someone rushed out, interrupting the proceedings. "Wait!" He Yuan-zhou's brow furrowed. Trouble always seemed to arise during weddings, and his expression darkened ominously. Song Yu-ru lifted her veil, looking at Aunt Zhao, who had burst in, demanding, "How dare you disrupt the Zhennan?" Aunt Zhao, stunningly beautiful and eloquent, adorned in a gown of moonlight brocade, appeared delicate. "My lord, my daughter was married to you just a few days ago. Why have you demoted her from wife to concubine? You promised before me that you would love only Ru Sheng, granting her the position of primary wife. You deceived her into becoming intimate with you, leading her to betray the Wei Duke's household, and now you tarnish her reputation only to marry another woman? How can you face Ru Sheng?" Her tears flowed freely, capturing the attention of many present. He Yuan-zhou's expression darkened further. Yet, Song Yu-ru stepped forward defiantly. "Your daughter lacks propriety. She has courted her cousin, sending poetic verses to the daily. She is merely a discarded woman. Who knows the true reason for her dismissal? Perhaps she learned her mother's ways from the brothel, engaging in frivolous affairs before her marriage. Otherwise, what respectable girl would allow such intimacy before her wedding? If she did not consent, how could the Marquis have entered her chamber? You raised such a daughter, and now she brings shame upon the Marquis's household. Yet you dare to claim the Marquis has wronged her? I am now My allowing her to remain is already a sign of my generosity. If you continue this farce, I shall have the Marquis write a divorce decree. Guards, do your duty." With that, Aunt Zhao was silenced and dragged away. That night, during the bridal chamber ceremony, Song Yu-ru awaited He Yuan-zhou, who had yet to arrive. Reflecting on the earlier events, anxiety consumed her. She took her maid and ventured out to search for him. To her surprise, halfway through the garden, she encountered a scene that made her heart race. Ru Sheng, clad in sheer fabric, leaned into He Yuan-zhou's embrace, wiping her tears. "My lord, I do not wish to disrupt your wedding night. I merely wish to see you. I fear that now that the lady of the house has entered, I shall no longer have the chance to meet you. My lord, you know I am timid. I cannot sleep alone at night. Could you stay with me for a while and leave once I have fallen asleep?" She nestled against He Yuan-zhou, sweetly coaxing him. Unable to resist, he immediately embraced her. "All right, I shall stay with you tonight. I will leave once you are asleep." With that, they entered Ru Sheng's courtyard, entwined. Song Yu-ru's eyes burned with anger, ready to rush over, but was held back by her maid, who whispered urgently until she calmed down. It was only at midnight that He Yuan-zhou returned to his new chamber. Rather than express displeasure, Song Yu-ru tenderly attended to him, making He Yuan-zhou feel as though he had a wise wife and a beautiful concubine, achieving a sense of fulfillment in life. The following day, as the concubine served tea to the main wife, Ru Sheng arrived late, appearing delicate as she said, "I pay my respects to the lady. I am truly sorry for my tardiness. Yesterday I was frightened, and my husband stayed longer than expected in my room. I hope you will not hold it against me." Song Yu-ru smiled and said, "What does it matter? No matter how long he stays, you still cannot bear children. Next time, dear Aunt Sheng should be more attentive. Let the Marquis visit the new concubine's quarters, for the prosperity of the Ho residence is paramount." Ru Sheng's expression changed dramatically. "What new concubine?" Song Yu-ru clapped her hands, and the two maids she had brought from her family, Yuma and Yuchi, stepped forward. With a smile, Song Yu-ru declared, "These are my personal maids, raised with great care since childhood. I have informed the Marquis that in 3 days, they will be elevated to concubines. We shall all be sisters henceforth and must maintain harmony." The two women had been nurturing their health and were most suitable for childbearing. "So you must ensure that the Marquis has heirs." Yuma and Yuchi immediately responded, "Yes, madam." The old matriarch, seeing Song Yu-ru's virtuous demeanor, was exceedingly pleased, taking her out for social engagements daily, praising her as both capable and diligent, a true blessing for the He family. I next encountered Juan rushing at a banquet in the Ryong Marquis' residence, accompanying Song Yuru. A confidant of Song Yuru leaned in to whisper, "You are too kind to the concubine. It is improper to bring a concubine out like this." Song Yuru chuckled lightly. "She is the one the Marquis cherishes most. How could I possibly neglect her? The Marquis dotes on her, spending half of each month in her quarters. Alas, she has been disappointingly barren for 6 months." The madam scoffed derisively. "It is precisely because she cannot bear children that she was dismissed. Even if the Marquis spends every day with her, she remains childless." Song Yuru sighed. "What can be done? The Marquis favors her and I cannot voice my discontent. I can only hope she becomes sensible and advises the Marquis." Juan rushing, holding a warming pot, stood pitifully to the side. Upon seeing me enter, she called out, "Sister." I turned, smiling. "Aunt Sheng, tread carefully. We are no longer connected, so it is best to keep your distance." My friend, seeing her audacity, rushed to Song Yuru and exclaimed, "Madam, be cautious. This person is a venomous snake, capable of biting. Did not their Wan family sister suffer a grievous bite?" Song Yuru laughed. "Sister Wan possesses a good temperament. Were it me, I would engage in a fierce battle." Just then, Song Yuru suddenly covered her mouth and retched. I looked at her in surprise. Could it be that the madam is with child? This remark startled everyone present. The experienced matrons quickly summoned a physician, and indeed, Song Yuru was 3 months pregnant. Watching Hyuanzhou rush into the inner courtyard to embrace Song Yuru in joy, Russian ground her teeth in resentment. I remarked casually, TSK, men truly value offspring. No amount of sweet talk can compare to the joy brought by a child. Aunt Sheng should also take care of herself. Perhaps she too may conceive." Wan rushing retorted sharply, "That is not for my sister to worry about." Song Yuru became pregnant within 6 months of entering the household, reveling in her good fortune. And Hyuanzhou accompanied her daily. Once the pregnancy was stable, she summoned Rushing to attend to her. Yet, after becoming pregnant, her face inexplicably developed blemishes, which she could not eradicate no matter her efforts. Moreover, her body became plump and increasingly unattractive. One day, while I was inspecting the family's jewelry shop, I saw Hyuanzhou accompany Song Yuru inside. Her belly was so large it seemed she might give birth at any moment. Hyuanzhou was momentarily taken aback at my appearance. I was descending the stairs clad in a gown of moonlight brocade, rendering him speechless. "Royan, how have you been lately?" I smiled faintly. "I am quite well. I had yet to congratulate the Marquis on the impending addition to your family." Song Yuru laughed, covering her mouth with her plump hand. "Mr. Wan, you are still unmarried. You wouldn't still be thinking of the Marquis, would you?" Hyuanzhou, already irritated by her excessive weight, turned pale at her words. "Do not speak nonsense." Wan Rushing chimed in. "The Marquis has always been concerned about my sister. Otherwise, why bring the madam to this shop?" "Madam, would you not agree?" I turned with a smile. "You two are overthinking. My father has already arranged my marriage. I came merely to ask the designer to create a few bridal accessories." Hyuanzhou exclaimed, "You are getting married?" I turned away. "Indeed. When the Marquis has the time, do not forget to come and celebrate." With that, I paid them no further heed and boarded the carriage outside. Rushing's voice trailed behind. "The Marquis claims he doesn't think of her. Yet why is he so anxious?" Hyuanzhou retorted, "You, a mere concubine, question my affairs? What right do you have? Aren't you tired of your daily outings?" "I have official business to attend to. You may continue your leisure." I chuckled within the carriage. No matter how many oaths or sweet words were exchanged, it was all but empty promises. From that day forth, I began to harbor suspicions. Why did Song Yuru exhibit such drastic reactions during her pregnancy? I discreetly investigated and discovered that Rushing had bypassed the concubine to meet with her outside, obtaining some prescriptions from her. According to the informants in the concubine's courtyard, the concubine had quietly advised Rushing, "Do not use too much. A few applications will cause the pregnant woman to gain excessive weight, making childbirth perilous." Now I understood why, in my past life, my body had inflated like a balloon after becoming pregnant. The following day, several gift boxes were delivered by the doorman. Upon opening them, I found exquisite new bridal headpieces crafted by the silversmith, styled in the form of the Hahuan flower, which I had always adored. The servant informed me, These are sent by the Marquis of Jinan, designated for the young lady. In the subsequent days, jewelry, silks, and jade trinkets arrived at the Marquis's residence in succession. I grew weary of it all, and instructed a nurse to pack the gift boxes into a carriage to return them to the Jinan Marquis's residence, conveying the message: "Our young lady is soon to be married. Her garments and jewelry will be managed by her future husband. So there is no need for the Marquis's concern." Russian refused to relent. "Marquis, I sacrificed my reputation for you, offended the entire household, and was cast out. Now you are eager to send gifts to Russian? Do you regret it? Do you find me unworthy of bearing children? Hence you prefer my sister? I have lost everything for you. How can you betray me like this, pursuing ruin behind my back? You promised to marry me alone. Yet you not only took Songyuru as your wife, but now wish to marry Ruyan as well. Where does that leave me?" Upon hearing this, Songyuru coldly mocked Rushing the next day. "What are you? Just a concubine, yet you dare to contend for affection." Rushing's face flushed with anger as she shoved her aside. "And what are you? Merely a breeding tool. Do you truly believe the Marquis favors you? He would rather be sickened by the sight of you. Ugly and bloated, you bring shame to him. If it weren't for your father's recent promotion, he would have dismissed you by now. Just wait. Once you give birth, see if he still touches you." Songyuru was pushed to the ground, and upon hearing Rushing's words, she felt a mix of anger, urgency, and pain, causing her to go into premature labor. The Marquis's residence was thrown into chaos. The midwife examined Songyuru's belly and shook her head. "Such a large belly. I cannot deliver this child. I fear the consequences. Quickly summon a doctor from Chuanha Hall." Rushing shrieked, "The doctor is male. How can he assist the madam in childbirth? You must deliver her." He Yuanzhou was engaged in official duties and was not present in the residence, while the old matriarch had gone to the temple to burn incense. In the entire Jinan Marquis's residence, Rushing was the only one in control, wielding her influence due to the Marquis's favor. She forbade anyone from summoning a doctor, insisting only on a midwife, declaring that the doctor was a man and could not assist the madam in childbirth. Songyuru writhed in agony. But the midwife was helpless. The fetus is too large, and the position is incorrect. How could a pregnant woman consume so much? Look at how she has ballooned. This is impossible to deliver. Rushing dismissed the servants from the room, entering alone to face the nearly unconscious Songyuru. In a hushed tone, she said, "The Marquis has instructed that if it comes to this, we must prioritize the child. This is the Marquis's offspring. You know what to do. If necessary, cut open the belly and take the child out." The midwife, drenched in cold sweat, knelt upon the ground, exclaiming, "My lady, spare me. We midwives cannot perform this task. It is best to summon a physician." With that, she abandoned her bundle and hastily fled. Songyuru, nearly fainting from pain, heard Wan Rushing's words and realized the gravity of her situation. In a sharp tone, she declared, "Do you dare to harm me? When the Marquis returns, you shall not escape unscathed." Wan Rushing approached with a pair of scissors in hand and retorted, "By the time the Marquis returns, you will be dead. How then can he seek retribution against me? The Marquis cares only for heirs. Rest assured, once you perish, I shall treat your child as my own. In due course, he shall recognize me as his mother. All you need do is lie still, while I cut open your belly and retrieve the child." Songyuru wished to scream for help, but Wan Rushing covered her mouth, and with a swift motion, the scissors sliced through Songyuru's abdomen. A piercing scream drew the attention of those outside. The door was suddenly kicked open, revealing He Yuanzhou, who had hurried back. Wan Rushing was violently thrust aside, crashing against the wall, blood spilling from her mouth. "Vile wretch! What are you doing?" He Yuanzhou shouted. "Doctor, hurry, save her." But alas! The child was too large and the delay too great. Songyuru could not be saved, and the baby was forcibly extracted from her lifeless body. "My lord, the lady has perished, yet the young master lives," the physician lamented, shaking his head as he departed. He Yuanzhou, surveying the room replete with blood and the stench of death, teetered on the brink of madness. Grasping Wan Rushing by the throat, he dragged her up, seething. "You wicked woman! Why did you slay Yuru?" Wan Rushing laughed, a hint of madness in her eyes. He Lang, "I am unable to bear children myself. Now that she has given us a child, is this not fortuitous? We can be together forever. The child will call me mother." At that time, I shall sell off your concubines, leaving only us in the Marquis residence. We shall be united for eternity. Hiyuano forcefully shoved her away. You lunatic. Who would want to be with a madwoman like you? Bring her to the authorities. Let them decide her fate. Wan Rushing struggled fiercely. You cannot send me to the authorities. I am your legitimate wife, the Lady of Jinnan. Who dares to touch me? She was swiftly silenced and taken away to the magistrate. Charged with the attempted murder of the Lady of Jinnan, she was sentenced to execution after the autumn harvest. She pleaded to see Hiyuanzhou once more before her demise, and he visited her in the dungeon. Clutching his sleeve, she implored, He Lang, save me. He gently pried her hand away. You have been sentenced to death. No one can save you. I shall soon take another wife and will not visit you again. There is no need for you to send word. From his purse, he produced a document. This is a letter of divorce. From this day forth, you are no longer a part of the Jinnan estate, and we have no further ties. Wan Rushing stood stunned, gazing at the divorce decree. You would actually cast me aside? Hiyuanzhou replied, Our household cannot harbor a woman as venomous as you. Wan Rushing erupted into maniacal laughter, her madness intensifying. Suddenly, she wrenched a hairpin from her hair and thrust it into Hiyuanzhou's neck, blood gushing forth. By the time the jailers discovered the scene, it was too late. Both had succumbed, one within the prison walls and the other beyond, blood pooling around them. I learned of this tragedy on the very day of my own wedding. My mother informed me that Aunt Zhao had gone mad and had been sent to the ancestral temple to live out her remaining days. I gazed out at the willow catkins fluttering in the spring breeze. Another year had arrived, and all had passed. A new chapter of life was just beginning.
The end.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this tale, please remember to like and subscribe. Until we meet again for our next story.